Hey, this is Mass X with a brand new One Punch Man World video, and yes, the CBT has come to a close. Instead of doing arbitrary videos and just trying to get likes and so on, so I wanted to play the game just as a fan and really experience it over the 7 days to give a really honest assessment and review for you guys. So let's talk about it really quickly here. As you can see right now, we're in the Hero Association, and Atomic Samurai is my character I'm walking around in, and it is absolutely beautiful. One thing I can say about this game is graphically it is an A+, without a doubt. It looks absolutely gorgeous in video. The cutscenes, everything about it is smooth and nice, so hats off to the developers for that out of the gate, especially already in the CBT format. The main characters I ran through as I was playing was Genos, the SSR Genos, as well as Atomic Samurai. I really loved both those characters, and those were the characters I played the most and absolutely enjoyed. Did mess around a bit with the SSR Sonic, that was also fun. The other SSRs I just didn't have the time with 7 days to really get an honest assessment with, and I'm just going to quite say out of the gate, the SSR Atomic Samurai and Genos I was running were just absolutely fun. Two different type of characters for gameplay, and that's one of the things I gotta give them also credit for. The characters feel different when you play them, and they do have their own types of attacks, things they can do. Parry with Atomic Samurai and Sheath are just awesome. It's just they did a good job differentiating the types of characters, and I hope that really shows in the other characters. You know, given only a week's time and a limited amount of time to play, you can only spend so much time with each character. So, but from all indications, they really did take the time and effort to develop these characters. And it's pretty easy when you look at the characters themselves right here. If you look, as you can see here, you have develop, which is basically your experience, things like that. Chips, which you're going to be able to put on them. Arms, which are specific items that basically give bonuses, generally stats to your other teammates. And that's the other thing I gotta say I really liked, is the team aspect of controlling one character, having three other characters. You can set up your teams. Basically, your other three characters are there to boost your other character, as well as, of course, continue damage. But again, it gives a different aspect to develop teams around specific characters. But as you can see, just as for instance here, on the SSR Atomic Samurai character impression arms, you can see that one applies might to all allies and grants them 60% of Atomic Samurai's composure attack stats, and the effect increases by 60% for technical type characters, yada yada yada. We don't have to get into any sort of specifics here, but as you can see, these do have a very significant impact on your characters and teams that you develop. Now, getting into the gameplay itself, I really enjoyed the main storyline and the boss battles in particular. Those are absolutely fun. They're hard, but not frustrating. They're not too easy, so you're just not basically doing anything, and there's no auto in there, so you're forced to play, which is a nice aspect of the game. I don't know about replayability for these down the road. You get your commissions, which are kind of based off of that in some ways, and that's where you really go in to get other items that you're going to need. And those commissions you can run on auto mode, which is nice, but it is also one of the more frustrating areas of the game. Even though you have an auto mode on it, it's not ×2, it's not ×3, there's no skip functionality, so you're kind of just waiting in the game to be able to get more loot or memory or other things that are available. There's 5 different types of commissions, but the point of the matter is, it would be really nice if these could be in the background so you could still do other gameplay, or there was a skip functionality, so you know you just sit waiting, which to me is one of the few drawbacks in the game. I think if they could find a way to do a better quality of life for that, that would help out immensely. Even if they didn't want to do a skip mode and maybe did a ×5, something that would allow it to go without you sitting and waiting. Because what happens is you set up They do have an intelligent mode on it, so you can set up a multitude of these commissions, and it just will run through them automatically. So you're basically just putting your phone, your tablet, your PC off to the side while this is all going on. So that is one of the few complaints I do have about the game. The other thing too is the open world aspect of the game. It's very, very similar to Genshin Impact, which for me, maybe not for most, is a little bit of a downfall. I'm not a huge open world fan, I'll be quite upfront. I've said this before in other videos. On mobile, when I play open world, I love to do it when I'm playing on, an Xbox or a PlayStation and those types of gaming consoles. But I really do believe they could make also too a better quality of life for that. For instance, you're going to different areas of the world. You can move to certain parts of those areas, but those areas don't get you to necessarily where you're going. So you're doing a lot of walking at times, trying to find, your map to get to the hospital or some other area, a manga shop. And honestly, I don't think it would detract from the game, and it would probably make people want to stay with it longer if you could just go to those areas immediately without having to sit and walk around. And then when you do want to walk around those areas of the open world and just explore for fun, then just do that to find the little things that you can find and rewards that are available to you without being shoved into that every time. I do believe that if they could find some way, quality of life, to improve that for people, it would be great, because it does get frustrating and quite honestly boring at times when you're sitting here just kind of plugging along. They do have a lot of sections that aren't also battling. For instance, you're sneaking through one area to not be caught by the robots. Those aspects of the game that I did not find frustrating or annoying, or just, a means to get the player to be stuck playing longer than they might necessarily want to. Again, if they increase those amounts of those types of areas in the game, I do think it would become a little frustrating at times, and it would probably turn people off to just, back out of the game at times. Now, again, I'm not trying to overanalyze. This is a CBT, so you got to take that with stride. Things will change, and hopefully enough people will speak up about certain aspects of this, especially quality of life, that those changes will be implemented before the final global release happens. But this thing is really smooth and nice, and I have to imagine they are feeling pretty comfortable with the release on this, even though we don't have a hard date. I'm not saying there's not tweaking that has to be done in this game. There definitely does. But they are definitely very close to probably getting ready to really plan their global launch. Hopefully that will be in early 2024. The only other thing I'd like to speak about right now is the summon system. Dupes are going to be required. It is what it is. And also, too, given that this is going to be published by Crunchyroll, if you're not a person that's played Crunchyroll games in the past, you should know that once you link your account, there's no going back with Crunchyroll. So keep that in mind. Re-rolling is probably going to be difficult in this game because of that. So you will definitely not want to be linking your game until you are happy with what you got. But the upside to that is they did have a 10 pull that you could do 10 times. And if you were happy with what you got, you save it. You can save up to 3 of them. And basically that allows you probably to not have to worry about re-rolling so much. Now, I'm not going to talk about rates or anything. They did have 3 banners during the time of the CBT, and quite honestly, that's probably going to change. And they usually have higher rates during CBTs, so people aren't dogging pull amounts and things of that nature. So I'm going to leave that alone, because we know that's not going to be set in stone, and that's something when they are ready to release to global. But again, the summoning system looks smooth. It's nice. The rates, at least during the CBT, were fine. They weren't spectacular. They weren't amazing either. So maybe they are close to what they're going to be, that maybe this is a closer product than any of us could anticipate being a CBT. But again, keep in mind, you're going to be needing dupes, and your poll sessions are going to have a multitude of character types that you can pull, as well as arms. So when you are doing your polls, you're going to get a mixture. It's going to be mainly arms, and you're going to get up to, on average, 1 to 3 characters. Sometimes you'll get no characters. Sometimes you'll get 1, 2, or 3. I don't think I ever had a 4 poll on characters. Had quite a few 3 polls on characters, and never pulled an SSR twice in a poll. But again, it's a CBT. It is what it is. But as a whole, I gotta say, I think this game garners at least a B+. I can't give it an A for some of the reasons I've spoken about. I do think it can be a little droney at times, with the open world aspect and forcing you to walk around in certain areas, as well as, again, we don't know what the final product is going to be, so hopefully everything that comes out of this CBT will be nothing but improvements. But if you're a fan of the IP, and especially if you're a fan of the IP and a game such as Genshin Impact, this is a game you're probably going to absolutely love. I think the easiest one-word description of this game as a whole is it's fun. It's just fun. I have to say, more often than not, I was engaged and I was happy to be playing. I liked what the characters can do. I liked the different feels. And as in a whole, I really do believe they have a really strong product here that, with 2 other games that should be coming out, is going to make 2024 a pretty amazing year for mobile gaming. So let me know if you got to play in the CBT, if you're excited for this game, and what characters are you looking forward to. With that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.